So you might be noticing this large number across my shirt, and it comes from a statistic, but I have it over my heart because it hits very close to home. You see, 91,799 people in the United States alone in 2020 died of a drug overdose. And my only and oldest child, Heidi, was one of those that lost their lives that year. I want to ask you two questions today. Have you ever lost anyone or anything that you truly loved? And did you get over that loss in time, or did it change your life forever? Here's my life-changing story. It was February 27th, just before the COVID-19 lockdown in 2020. And my daughter was in jail in another state and had been for about a month. And she shared something really important with me, that she had realized that her relationship with her boyfriend was very toxic and that she should no longer be in a relationship with him. She also told me that he was planning to put himself into jail because he was also a guilty party, and then was going to bail himself out with their income tax return money. So when I found out from his mom that he not only bailed himself out, but he decided last minute to bail out Heidi also, I had the worst gut feeling I've ever had in my life. It was like a loud alarm going off inside of me saying serious danger was just around the corner. Shortly after I got that call, Heidi called me, and I could tell she was under the influence of some kind of drug, but she didn't admit to that. Instead, she acted like she trusted her boyfriend again, saying he was being so nice to her. We had a long and hard conversation that day, and much was discussed. I asked her, did she know that a popular hip hop artist had lost his son to a fentanyl overdose recently? She said she knew, as if she would have nothing to do with it. But little did I know that this would be my very last conversation I would ever have with my daughter. 2 days later, her boyfriend and her decided to party just one more time with the plan to part ways the next day. The next morning, I had 3 missed phone calls on my phone from Tennessee. And I had hopes they were from Heidi. But when I called the number, a woman answered. You see, it was the phone call you never want to get. It was the phone call that would change my life forever. She told me the shocking news that Heidi had overdosed on cocaine laced with fentanyl, had been flown to a Nashville hospital, and was unconscious and extremely non-responsive. I found out later that they had chilled her body to try to stop the damage. It would be warming it back up the next morning in hope of recovery. So my husband, oldest son, and I left as soon as we could from Florida and drove all night to Tennessee to see her the next day. But when we saw Heidi, it didn't take us long to realize that her body was just an empty shell. She was no longer there. On March 3rd, 2020, Heidi was declared legally brain dead because there was no more blood flow to her brain. There was no Narcan present when they were doing the drugs, so no chance to resuscitate her with that. She had gone over 10 minutes without oxygen. So numb and in shock, I said goodbye to Heidi with the nurse taking a picture of her hand and mine and getting some lockets of her long brown hair. And I had the next very difficult task of trying to tell her children, ages 4, 5, and under at the time, that their mom was no longer with us, that they would never see their mom again. This is my story. Do you have a similar story? Or do you know someone else that has a similar story? Please comment on this video. PM me if you really want to talk. I'd be happy to talk to you. I would like to know your story because it needs to be heard, it needs to be told, and we can't keep these things bottled up inside of us. And y'all, we have to know that this is an epidemic going on. That is not an incorrect word to use. It is an fentanyl epidemic. It is so important to know that all people, many different ages, are dying from this, from teenagers all the way up to old people, and that fentanyl is being put in to almost every drug out there, including marijuana and vaping. It is a cheap substance that allows the drug dealers to make more money. And intentional or not, tons and tons of people are dying. The numbers are way higher now, way higher now. Please bring awareness wherever you go. Please share this video out. Please subscribe and hit the bell for future other videos that I will be uploading of this regard, along with my other messages that I bring on a weekly basis. I'm Julie Kay, helping you find your way in hopes that you or people that you know will never touch a drug in your life because your life depends on it. God bless you. Signing off.